By now, we've all received our notices of property revaluation. I know I have. And those notices have created quite a stir in our community. Aaron Donaldson, Cumberland County Tax Assessor, answered our questions about the increases and gave us some hope for the present as well as for the future.
Well, the purpose of revaluation is not to raise taxes. As I explained, it's to equalize values among property owners. So my piece of the puzzle is to reappraise all the properties at market value. The tax rate is something that the commissioners set several months from now based on the entire value of the real estate in the county. Actual sales that occur in the market are what we use to determine what property is worth. Buyers and sellers in the market determine what property is worth. We just merely analyze those sales to see what a willing buyer is willing to pay and a willing seller is willing to accept. And we take that information and analyze it and determine what properties that haven't sold, the most likely selling price that they would sell for on a given date, which ours is January the 1st, 2009. When a property owner receives their revaluation notice, from our standpoint, what they need to do is look at the market value that we've established and determine in their own mind whether their property would sell for that amount or not. It is not related to what percentage of increase that the property went up from the last revaluation. That was 6 years ago. Values have shifted all across the county. Some areas have increased, rapidly. Other areas have been more stagnant or slowly increased. So the real key is your property worth what we've appraised it at? If it is, there's no further action required on their part. If they feel like it's too low or too high, which is typically the case, then they can fill out the appeal form and mail it in, or they can contact our office and we'll get them the information that they need to meet with the Board of Equalization and Review. The statutes, North Carolina statute 105-286 requires a revaluation be completed at least once each 8 years. You can do it sooner than that, but no longer than every 8 years. We basically try to monitor the values of homes, and if they begin to get too far out of line, we know it's time to do the next revaluation. Our last revaluation was in 2003. That was 6 years ago. We'd made the decision in 2006 that it was necessary to realign the values within the county again to do the reappraisal because it takes about 2.5 to 3 years to complete a revaluation. So the decision was actually made, like say, in 2006, well before we knew there was going to be a blip in the economy in the last part of 2008. We revalue every piece of real estate within Cumberland County. That includes residential, commercial, agricultural, industrial, and it includes vacant property and improved property alike. So there's not any property that escapes revaluation. It is possible we could make mistakes. That's why we had the informal appeal process in March. The folks were able to call in, talk to the appraisers, come in, go over their property record cards with us. We explained to them how we arrived at their value. And now we're at the second stage where if they still want to appeal the value, they can appeal to the Board of Equalization and Review. That process begins on April the 6th when the board convenes, and they will adjourn on the last day of May. I believe that is the 28th or 29th. It's a Friday. Anyone wishing to appeal their property needs to file a written request to appeal. We will prepare all of the information and set them a time, an appointment date in which they can come in and meet with the board, and they'll have an opportunity to present the information as to why they feel our appraisal is inaccurate, and of course we'll be able to present the information that we use to appraise the property, and then the board will make the final decision on what the value of the property should be. For more information, folks can go to the county's website and click on the tax department, and it will bring you to our portion of the web, and we have all kinds of information there, including information on tax relief for the elderly. There's a new program this year for disabled veterans. There's a new program this year called Circuit Breaker. The Circuit Breaker and the elderly, they need to be 65 years old and have a certain income. All of these tax relief programs require an application, so it is necessary that they file an application. Our elderly exemption is $25,000 off the valuation, or they're only taxed on 50% of the value of the property, so that's a very helpful relief program. And then the Circuit Breaker program is based on income. Depending upon the applicant's income, their taxes can be capped at a maximum of 4% of their income, or on a little higher income basis, it could be 5% of their income. Both very good programs. I encourage anyone with questions to call in. We'll do the best we can to get them an answer. If necessary, we can make an appointment. The folks can come in, we can sit down with them, go over whatever their concerns are with them, and try to explain everything to them. I'm a taxpayer too. I know I have to pay these taxes too, so I know exactly how it feels and what it's like, and I have empathy for these people, and we are always willing to try to help in any way that we can. Just contact us and we'll do what we can to help them.